Hey everybody. Oh man, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check, everybody. What's going on? All right, where do we start? Start with the good news. Go into the bad news. Let's go bad news to good news, right? All right. Let's go with good news. God, there's some bad news there. Oof. All right. Good news is I'm going to give props to the Republicans because they shot down this move by Chavez to sell federal land. So I'm going to give them a quick props. But the other thing that happened the other day in South Dakota, which I forgot to mention about the overturning of that anti-corruption bill, that's really bad news. I haven't really got to speak about that. The other big news tonight, if you guys, I'm in New York City, so about 1,000 bodegas. They said most of them are from people who were from Yemen, closed their bodegas tonight in protest of Trump. So a huge protest. I don't know the numbers of bodegas that actually closed down, but that was also done. And I'm always concerned from both sides, like when GOP says don't sell federal lands, and then there's a protest. I just hope they're going to be always here for all progressive causes, and not just when their ass is on the line. That's always the concern, that they're going to all keep pushing for a progressive agenda, and that's why sometimes people go back and forth on different progressive voices, like Sean King. He did a whole thing on divestment, which is the big movement right now. And I don't think I talked about this yesterday, was that Seattle just removed $3.2 billion from Wells Fargo, who was involved with the North Dakota pipeline. So that's the big move that we have to make right now, is divestment. So any pressure we can put on each city to divest is the way to go. Boycotting is the way to go. All these corporations, people are feeling pressure, right? Uber is feeling pressure. Disney is feeling pressure. Nordstrom just dropped Ivanka Trump's clothesline. I can't say that it's all related. That was all related. But I assume that protests are having an effect. And that's why, guys, I want you guys to keep taking action. The other thing is the phone calling, right? The phone calling is working. They are tabulating. They are being reported, and it's all about DeVos tomorrow. Tonight and tomorrow, even if you had to call whoever you have to call tonight and leave a message, you just got to show them that we're out there. And they are counting the phone calls. And DeVos is tomorrow morning, right? This is the big vote. This is the day of DeVos tomorrow. So if you can make a phone call to anybody, please do it tomorrow. There's so many senators you can be calling. Heidi Heitkamp, Warner from Virginia, Manchin. There's so many people that you need to be calling and letting know that you're not happy about what's going on out there. So please, tell me how DeVos is so terrible and wicked. She's never done anything. She's never had any job in education. She is definitely not qualified for the job. That's what's wrong with DeVos. You can check her record. She has no history in education whatsoever. Zero. In public education, I should say. So that's what's wrong with DeVos. I'm a liar. Okay, good comeback. You can just check you can check my wall for any information that you need. You can Google her qualifications. You don't have to take my word for it there, liar. Just Google it and you'll find out. Okay, some of the bad things that happened or could happen is Trump is looking to destroy the Johnson Amendment, which would allow church groups to get involved with political activity. Let's not hope that happens. That's one of the big fears. Is this is a real push for the Christian national right. This is what you have to really be so worried about. Susan Collins just came out against Betsy DeVos tonight, so I think we're close. We're close to turning down the confirmation of Betsy DeVos. It's just going to take a couple more phone calls. No, leave. No, don't block anybody. Don't block anybody. There's no reason to block anybody here. All you got to do is bring articles and drop them down. Anytime you have somebody on here who doesn't believe of what we're saying, you got to source everything and send it back to them. The only way you're going to de-radicalize people is to prove to them with facts. They're all been brainwashed. You're all going to find different reasons. You're going to have to vet each one. When they come to the page, you're going to have to go back and vet their page, see if it's a real profile, check out who they are, figure out why they've been radicalized, and try to work from that angle. Don't work from the angle that they're a troll. Work from the angle that they disagree and you have to convince them, or else we're going to get nowhere. It's really important to let these people come on and say what they want to say. If you want to argue with facts. Argue with sources that they can check and read. Say, here you go, and drop it below. Drop a meme. Sometimes people like memes. Drop a meme on them. Oh, God. And from the comedy side, which is so crazy about the Christian nationalists, which you know they're just full of shit, the Christian nationalists with Trump, because he's so not what they should be supporting, right? He goes to the National Prayer Breakfast and he makes a prayer about, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's just so disrespectful to the whole, and that's why these people who are supportive of Trump and are religious, they're just being baptized now in a swamp. Before they were baptized in holy water, now they're being baptized in the Trump water of the swampy Trump water, and now they're becoming different people. Completely radicalized, so they can't hold on to that. You've got to really call them out now, the Christian nationalists, because Trump is no Christian. Again, Rex Tillerson was confirmed, and you got to call your state senators. Call your state senators, please. Make it your work to call your senators tomorrow. The other thing that got passed in the House was a bill that's going to deregulate coal mines, and they're going to be able to pollute waterways. That's another bill that just passed in the House. It's so hard to keep track of everything. But the biggest key to all this is you making phone calls, is you calling your senators. That's the biggest thing that you can do today and tomorrow. Even if you picked up the phone right now and got the voicemail, it still would be counted. They're still going to know that you're out there and you're activated. And that's why, you gotta love the idea of the protest here in New York City, where all these people took the time to close their businesses, took a hit monetarily to send a message. That's really, really important. All right, what time is it? Give me a time check. Ken Mejia was live streaming tonight. Should have checked out that. Greg Palast live stream tonight. Check out him and his live stream. There was a bunch of really good live streams tonight. Try to avoid the network news if you can. And again, don't worry about Andrew going tonight. We will vet him and see if he shows up. If you want to argue with Andrew, then argue with him by dropping articles. But we'll vet him later. You got to vet any troll after the fact. Hopefully they don't. Normally the trolls don't come back. If you vet them, you find out either they've been radicalized, they're like lost. They're like lost guys. You got to figure out where their anger is coming from. So I'll figure that out after. See if he has a real profile. See what he's all about. Don't worry about that for now. That Gina Haspel was also put in as deputy director of the CIA. She was one of the women who was big into torture. So that's another, again, there's so many phone calls to be made on so many issues. I know that I know it can be overwhelming, but please, tonight and tomorrow, if you can make a phone call to your senators about Betsy DeVos. All right, let me go back and see if I can pull back and see what's going on. Anybody got a time check? Landscape is killer. So hard to do landscape. Andrew, nobody, who's insulting you? I'll look back. I'm not insulting you, Andrew. I'll insult you tomorrow after I vet you. I'm not insulting you. Here we go. David Duke, what's up? How about the unbiased views? Oh, just trolling. let our senators know how we can feel. Yeah, all you have to do is make a phone call. That's all you have to do is call your senators, but call all of them, really. You really want to make sure you call all of them. So 6:30 a.m. Oof. So that doesn't. Thank you, Kate Potter. That doesn't give us much time. So if you can get on the phone after this broadcast, which is going to be soon, I really would appreciate it. Tara says she's been trying to reach her senators for the last 3 days. I just get recorded message. I hear you. I've tried to reach Bob Menendez. That's all I get is voicemail with him. No, leave Andrew alone. Park Sway, teacher from New England, support your opposition to DeVos. Wait, I don't know what that means. Yeah, one more Republican to break DeVos. Let's see. People, all right. If you guys can give me a time check. So, all right, you guys all seem to be on the same page with me. Just make sure you call tonight. All your senators, pick, even if you're not going to call about DeVos, think about calling somebody regardless of DeVos or not. I'm sorry, I'm looking at your comments. I'm just trying to make sure. All right, almost midnight. All right, so do me a favor, call about DeVos. If you don't call about DeVos, there's a million things you can be calling about. It does matter. It does count. Tomorrow will be another day of action. I'm just looking through my notes to make sure. But we are having an effect. Uber, Disney, tons of companies will be leaving the Economic Council. It is having an effect. When you boycott, when you divest, when you make phone calls, it all has an effect. That's what you can do. That's the way you want to protest, right? People all are complaining about these violent protests. Well, there's better ways to protest. Phone calls, boycott, call your senators, organize, and please, 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 after you shut down this, please go to your phone and call the senators. Let's make this a habit of every day trying to make habits. Yeah, what? To make phone calls, all right? But also to make good habits, that would be important. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm sorry this was so rushed. Hopefully it's 12 o'clock. I got to go, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're here every night. Everybody. Trolls, people, or whoever wants to watch. We got to try to de-radicalize whoever we can, and just let them know the message before. If you have something to say against anybody who disagrees with you, make sure you source it, put it down below, and let these people know why we're against these candidates. Just send them to Bernie's page. Hey, Andrew, go to Bernie's page. You're so into Jill. Go to Bernie's page. You'll find out why we're against Betsy. Okay? Finish. Bye. Bernie's. All right. I'll see you guys. I love you. Tomorrow.